Peak Wealth Management proudly presents the Trust the Plan podcast with Nick Hopwood and Jim Pilat, where we believe by providing education and guidance, we can help you retire with peak confidence. Now, here are your certified financial planners, Nick and Jim.
Welcome everyone to the Trust the Plan podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Jim.
And Jim, what's your number?
My freedom number?
Yeah, what's your number?
I don't know. We got to dive into it.
You're a financial planner and you don't know your number? Got to practice what you preach.
I know. It's funny to phrase it that way, like, what's your number? Like, what do you need to retire? But, you know what you need to do, and you know the behaviors you have to have. But I should commit that number.
So what is this concept? Know what your number is, and what do we mean by that, and how should people think of it?
Yeah. That's basically, I mean, everybody's kind of familiar with that. What's your number? What do I need to hit so I can retire? But what it was actually from Twitter, a message that I saw a thread that I thought was really good. Talked about what is your freedom number? What do you need to do to accomplish your goals, and how to use, how to live guilt-free beyond that. I think that was what caught my attention with it. I was one of these guys, like the guy in the article described it. Growing up, everything I did was I got to save. I got to save more. I can't go on a trip. I can't spend money. He used an example about how he should have gone to Vegas with some buddies for a bachelor party, but he didn't because he didn't want to spend the money because he was so conditioned to save the extra that he missed out on that opportunity. But the point of this is if you know what you need to be doing to reach your goals, then you can have some flexibility and freedom and have some guilt-free money that you can use.
So in other words, if you know to reach your goal, you have to do this and that, maybe max out your 401, maybe do a Roth IRA, maybe put money in a brokerage account and pay extra by this much on your mortgage. If you're doing those 4 or 5 things, any other monies can be spent without worry?
Yeah, it can. Well, I think it can be guilt-free money, and you can worry less about what is the actual return on this purchase. He used an example, and I thought it was pretty good about vacation rental and heating the pool. And if they heated the pool the way to the temperature they wanted, it was going to cost an extra $750 for the trip. Well, he says, old me would have said, oh my gosh, that's $750. I could have put that in something and saved it and invested it. But new me says, I know I'm doing the right things to have the retirement that I want, to get to the point where work is optional, right? Not necessarily a hard fact of 65, now I retire. But then it allowed him to relax and spend that money guilt-free on the trip or the lecture.
I like that mindset. As long as, you're not taking on credit card debt to heat the pool, right? I think that's fine because we got to live a little,
Right.
Let me just say this. We had such a hot July. It was like 90 degrees every day and even at night. The lake was like 85 degrees. It's like bathwater.
Yeah.
No heating required.
There you go. Perfect. That worked out well.
But there is a cost per pontoon boat ride, right? I can relate to this concept because as you were mentioning that Las Vegas trip, I remember one of my wife's best friends got married like in Jamaica or something, and we didn't go, probably like 2005, 2006. And it was my choice. I was like, we're not spending that money on that trip. And I deeply regret that. Because they didn't, it's not like they invited 100 people, right? It was a very small group. And we essentially said, no, this money is not good enough to be with you.
Yeah.
And I feel bad about that. And we could have done it. We could have.
Yeah.
And I regret that. Okay. Another thing that I think about with this is like buying a second home, right? So we tell people this all the time. I went through this for myself. With this new cost, whether it's a new mortgage or money that you're taking out of savings to pay for a property, and the ongoing maintenance and taxes and insurance and, the tubes and the boats and the ropes and the dock and, it just never ends. But if you can do this without sacrificing the other savings that you're doing, right? The 401, the Roth IRA, the HSA, the brokerage account, the mortgage curtailment. If it's not affecting those things, then you can do it. That's the way I look at it. But if doing the second house, buying the cottage is going to mean that you can't do the 401, you can't put the money in the brokerage account, well, now, in order to reach the goal, all else equal, you probably have to work longer. We have to find another way to make more money. So I like the idea of this concept. Get your number, right? Make sure you're doing everything you can to get the number and check in periodically with your advisor. Make sure that you're on track. And then you can heat the pool guilt-free. You can have the cottage guilt-free. You can relocate. You can, supersize, right?
For sure. But yeah, I think and maybe this is why the topic stuck out to me so much, but Emily and I have talked for a couple of years now about maybe we want to move. Maybe we want to live closer to Plymouth where our kids are in school and obviously the office is here. And one part of me says, well, why would we want to do that? We have a paid for house. We're in good shape, and the other thought is, well, if through my detailed expense tracking, I know what I have and what I can afford. And if I can slide that payment in to a plan that works, if that's the priority for the family, then why not? Why can't we do that? But I think it all comes back to knowing that number. And the only way to do that is, having a detailed financial plan and to making sure that you're using conservative assumptions that we know that we have a really high probability to be successful with.
Yeah, and to defend Jim with my initial question, we typically don't think about what that number is in terms of, hey, we need X dollars in our portfolio, right? Because there's a lot of moving parts, but if we know that we're saving this and that, and we already have X amount to start with, and our needs are this, right? We get there, but we just usually don't talk about it with our clients in terms of what's your number. Yeah. But it's a good concept, right?
Yeah, I think the part of it that's a good concept is it's not, again, we talk about it in terms of retirement goal all the time, but at what point in your life do you want to be work optional, right? Meaning you can retire or you don't have to if you like doing what you're doing, but it's getting to that point of you don't need to work anymore because of the portfolio that you've built and the way that it's all set up with your financial plan. And maybe that's 55, 60 for some people, maybe it's 60, 70 for others, but it's getting to that point where you no longer have to work to live the life you want to live.
Any closing points here, Jim?
Yeah, I just thought it's a great takeaway. I think it's especially applicable even to young people because that's both of us gave stories about when we were young, right? And the habits we created when we were young. And young is the time to be thinking about it and learning. If I save X amount a year through my working years, will I be able to live the retirement I want? And if the answer is yes, then give yourself a little bit of freedom and ability to breathe and enjoy life as well. It's not save every dollar you can forever. It's, there's a fine line and a good compromise in there somewhere.
Well said. So call us, reach out to us at peakwm.com, schedule your second opinion, and get your number.
Peak Wealth Management thanks you for watching and listening to the Trust the Plan podcast, featuring certified financial planners Nick Hopwood and Jim Pilat. If you enjoyed our program, please subscribe and share. If you'd like to learn more about our services, please visit peakwm.com. peakwm.com today. See you next week.